Anyway, so we're about to go out of town again tomorrow for Monterey Car Week. So I feel like everything has been hitting the fan for us today. So David is incredibly busy today, so unfortunately he won't be able to do the comps as planned. So I guess I just figured I would hop on here and see, what all you guys need help with. Is there anything that we can talk about today that maybe you're struggling with, tools, systems, setup wise, or anything else that you guys have? Basically, we'll just go through that and maybe touch on a few things that that I've seen happen, and like questions within the team or processes within the team that I've been seeing that maybe it would be helpful for me to address it. It's like random stuff. But anyways, what all can I help you guys with?
I learned, I learn as I have to do these things. So I periodically go back through Book Group and I look at the training in there, and then I'll do training on EXP. But for me, most of it is gonna like actually sink in when I have to do it, like the transaction that I did for the rental in Sky Slope.
Yeah, Sky Slope. Yes, that's a big one because there was somebody else on the team as well where they didn't realize that Sky Slope, that they had to upload the rentals into Sky Slope. So just so you all know, when you have any sort of transaction or referral or anything like that, it does need to go into Sky Slope. So if you haven't taken the class, make sure you take the class. If you go to expcloud.com, there's a list, there's a schedule of that. So thank you for bringing that up, Janetta, because that's one thing that I did mean to touch on is, making sure everybody's going through that training and completing it, because that's going to be how to, upload those things. Now we will have a transaction coordinator, but just know that our transaction coordinator, even though, it's their job to upload it, it's the agent's responsibility. So like everything needs to be uploaded within 2 days. So if for some reason you see that the TC is not uploading them, which she's really good about it, but just in case she gets busy or something and you see that she hasn't uploaded it and it's been 2 days, just upload it as the agent, because we have that responsibility to have those things in there within 2 days. And it's an EXP requirement, and it's basically a compliance requirement, because then they also have I think it's the DRE that or somebody that they have to report to as well for those items. So just make sure that, you all are uploading that into Sky Slope if you get a rental or referral, because usually a rental or referral, the TC doesn't usually help with those. I was telling somebody that if you pay her like maybe $25, she could do it for you. But honestly, those things are so easy that it's just easy just to go in and do it. So anyways, go ahead, Janetta, with the rest. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you just
No, that's fine.
To give that notification.
The confusion on my part was I couldn't find it in the MLS, and I have been dealing with so many different rentals and several different clients that I couldn't remember where I found that rental for my client, and it wasn't an MLS listing. So I thought, well, because it wasn't an MLS listing, I didn't have to put it on Sky Slope. But then I remembered reading something or somewhere where it needed to, because I'm supposed to be getting paid.
Right.
So,
and you did get paid, right?
They're going to send the check into EXP.
Okay. Yeah, so that's
the broker gave me they gave me the address, the lockbox address.
Yeah, so just make sure that this isn't just for you, Janetta. This is for everybody. Just make sure that if you do have a rental, it is not usually on referrals. Usually there's no problem, but usually on rentals, just make sure that they know that they have to pay EXP Realty and not you as the agent. Everything has to go through EXP. So just make sure that if you do have a rental that you're working with, a rental client that you're working with, it has to go through EXP. And there's actually, I was showing somebody this the other day, how to upload it into SkySlope. So it's actually super easy. I could jump on and show you guys real quick since we don't actually have a topic for today, but it's really easy to just log into there and upload it. So hold on, let me.
I found
you
the
can go
program
ahead
very,
and I'm gonna log
I
in.
found the program very easy to use. I just had to wait on the leasing agency to give me the documents. So
Yeah.
they closed yesterday, but of course by close of business I didn't have the document, so I had to change the date in SkySlope. And I uploaded
Gotcha.
everything last night, but it was relatively easy.
Okay. Yeah. Let me just share my screen so the way I can show everybody on the call what to do. So this is SkySlope. This is what SkySlope looks like. So basically when you're going in and you have a new rental to upload, and this is for a rental or a purchase, create transaction, and you click on that. I'm not gonna walk through it because I don't actually have something to put in, but basically you'll go in. I usually click away from that. That doesn't help me. And then you're gonna enter in all of this information. And there is a checklist for rentals, or I'm sorry, for rentals and referrals. So residential lease would be a rental. And then there's new construction referral, but there's actually either outgoing referral or whatever. So that, there's a checklist for those items because otherwise there's like too much that you have to put on there. So with a lease, it's really simple. And with a referral, it's even simpler than that. So, but what I did want to show, if you go into working documents in here, and you go to office documents, there is, if you go into California team office, there is the lease invoice. So this is where you would find the lease invoice that you have to upload. And so this is where the address needs to go to, eXp Realty of California, Inc., and to this address, the Los Angeles one. Because what happens is if it can't go to our Apollo address, the El Segundo one, it can't go to the San Ramon address. This is the address that it has to go to. So just make sure if you are working with a rental client on the tenant side, that you tell the agent, the listing agent, hey, make sure that the check goes to this address and that you make it out to eXp. And also have them send you a copy of the check, because what happens is since eXp has just the corporate location at San Ramon, if they send it to the San Ramon address, it takes like weeks for them to process your check because somebody has to go there and physically pick it up, because nothing should be sent there. But what happens is people accidentally send it there anyways, or they don't know and it gets sent there. So if you're waiting absolutely forever, it's probably because the agent on the other side, their client ended up sending it out to the wrong address. So make sure that you have it sent out to the proper address and you get a copy of the check. That is the only way eXp knows how to, where to assign it and what agent this is coming in for, because they don't know. So you just need to make sure, because it's just a check made out. And so you just need to make sure that when you are working with them, you ask the listing agent, hey, can you either send me the copy of the check or the check number? So that way you can let eXp transaction team know, because otherwise they don't know that the check is for you, what transaction it applies towards, because there's nothing to reference that. So just make sure that you give a copy of this to the other agent, just so the way they have it, so the way they know where to send it. But this is actually part of the checklist items in SkySlope. So this is something you have to fill out anyways when you're dealing with a rental client. So if you're dealing with the renter, you're just you're filling out all of this info to the best of your ability. Like you're not going to have the other agent's tax ID number. most likely, but everything else you should be able to fill out. And does everybody know how to figure out how to calculate the commission?
Doesn't that just depend on what the listing says or what
It
the
is.
agreement is?
It is. So usually they do it on a 12-month lease. And, you know, if you got to calculate it based upon if it, you know, the commission amount, but you're going to take that, the rental amount and then times that by 12. And then you're going to then, what is it, multiply in the commission. And that's what your commission would be.
Unless it's a Zillow lead and they don't do it that way.
What do they do for that?
For my rental, it was just $250. That's
Oh.
what they're giving me, which is not worth the gas it took
That
me to get
sucks.
to where I was going. Yeah. Long lessons learned.
I don't like
So,
that. Man.
yeah.
Even on the MLS, sometimes they have a flat fee as well. Usually when the rent's under or about 1,000, that's how they like to do it. But sometimes you benefit that way. Sometimes the flat fee is more than the 2.5% of the year.
But like, yeah.
Tasha, I went over
Go
with
ahead.
the contract specialist and the transaction coordinator on EXP side. So at least from what I know from this is a internal document. You could
Yeah.
provide it to the other agent, but the bottom left-hand corner is the most important thing you should provide.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
And I asked about the check number in the photo too. They want the check photo or like a copy of the check.
I mean, yeah, they do, but if push comes to shove, I've been able to provide them with a check number,
Mhm.
and that's been, you know, that's been okay.
Okay.
But they do want a copy of the check, but as you know, you can't force the listing agent on the other side to do it. And so what I would do is ask them probably as the lease agreement is getting signed. So that way you're not asking them after checks have already been sent out, because then that's an issue because they're like, well, I already sent it out, so I don't have a copy of the check. So that's a situation I'll always run into, is that they're not doing, you know, they're not taking a picture of it because they don't know that that's what you need. So
Mhm.
just making sure to, like, as the lease agreement is signed, just asking them like, hey, can you, when we do get to the payment portion, can you make sure to send a copy of the check to me and also make it out to this address? That way they know ahead of time. So that way you're not having to go back and correct them. But if push comes to shove, at least a check number would be great. Try to get a copy of the check, like you're saying, Alan. But if they don't, if they're like, well, shoot, I already sent it out, then, you know, hopefully they have at least the check number.
All right.
It can be a pain sometimes on the lease side, but it is what it is. Because then basically what it does, the EXP takes it and then they send you a wire for that amount to your account.
All right. They said they process. I mean, with the photo, they'll process it as soon as they process the whole transaction.
Right. As long as you have all your documents uploaded. You got to have all of your documents uploaded in SkySlope. And then also what I was discussing with Alan yesterday is, and you're going to need to do this for every transaction that you guys have, but I'm just going to choose like this one so that I can show you. So when you create a transaction, this is essentially what it looks like as an overview. And here you're going to see there's an email. So this email is tied specifically to this transaction. So when you guys are going through transactions, whether it's a rental or whether it's a purchase or a sale, you guys are going to want to CC or BCC. It's better to CC it so the way people could see there's somebody, you know, not somebody, but there's somebody else on the email, you know, because you're going to want to document all of your conversations with your buyers. So even if you're having phone calls each time with your buyers or your you know, just your clients, you need to also document via email and just put in there, just to recap our conversation from today. You said that you wanted to blah, 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 and this was our discussion, because it's going to cover you legally when, or if, I don't want to say when, but like if you come upon issues with your client after the closing, then it's great because then you already have everything documented. And this is still for leases because you can still run upon issues with leases. You know, the thing is that people forget what they agree to, people forget what they sign, people forget what happens during the transaction. It's very stressful. Even as a tenant, it's very stressful trying to find a place to live. So, you know, just keep that in mind, is that like, they're probably not going to remember everything that happened, and you're not going to remember everything that happened. You're going to like to think that you remember everything that will happen. But that's why EXP has a transaction log in the checklist, because they need to know that you're documenting all of your conversations. So if you scroll, where is it? Email, text communication. So you need to upload all transaction communication, including emails and text. So just make sure that if you are having text conversations, you can just forward it to this email. So just forward your text conversations to this email. But it's very important you have a log of all of your conversations. So that's the easiest way to do it, is from the moment you're talking to your client during a transaction, CC this email on that communication log. And what I do is, whenever I am opening escrow, that should go on there. If I don't have it at the time because we're just opening escrow, I will go back when I do have it, and then it's one thread throughout the whole transaction, because it can be a lot trying to go back and forth and trying to remember, oh, where did I put this email? If it's just in one transaction log and one email log in Gmail, it makes it a whole lot easier. So yeah, just make sure you guys are doing that, because I think that not a lot of people know to do that. Anyways, does everybody, since we're on the topic of rentals, does everybody know how to submit a rental application?
I do now. So I did this training a while ago and I forgot about it. So then I went back and I just didn't do it. The steps, I did not do any of the steps that you had listed in the rental portion of GGU. So
Oh, okay. I do have yeah, I do have the SOP for how to submit. So what's cool is that well, not everybody's going to have this, but I believe if you're part of CRMLS, you have a free rent spree account that helps you with placing the rental applications. And what that does is it allows the tenant to basically, it does like a whole background check for them. Yeah, they have to pay like $30 or something per person, but it allows it, you know, it just pulls everything. It pulls in their credit score, their eviction and criminal record, like it pulls in all of that stuff. And what you can do is you can, even though it's going to be a different address, you can use that one thing for other applications. Of course, you may want to have them actually submit a, you know, well, actually, you can just use it for each one. I think that's what I've done in the past, is just use that for each one. And you can even just have them fill out a zipforms application thing, but there's no reason to do that if you already have the information, actually. But it just makes it so much easier. So the way they don't have to submit like 10 different applications or whatever it is, you just have one thing that they can submit, and it has all of their info. Because really what they're looking for when you're submitting the application is, you know, all of that background information. So, but anyways.
Tasha, usually like when I'm going through the rentals, not everyone uses rent spree. So what I do, at least for me, is I just run the rent spree application to see if they're serious about renting. And so I have all their information, then I can go and talk to the other agent and figure out what their application process is like. And also sometimes they have a different credit check. So sometimes they would rather run their own credit check. So I don't run credit check on my side until one agreement that my credit check that costs $38 would translate over to them.
Right. But the good thing is that if you already have that info, a lot of times agents don't care. They just care that there's a you know, a background check run in the first place. So sometimes you can save your clients money by doing that, because then it's like, okay, if each one is going to charge them $30, like that's a lot of money for a renter to spend trying to get, like, even if it is a few $100s, it's a few $100s in like all of its application fees. So that's going to help you with, you know, not having to your client run like a million other credit checks.
And when they fill out the rent spree and you need the application, it autofills your car application, so it makes everything a lot more streamlined.
It does. It's pretty awesome. When I found out that it was free, I was like, this is amazing. I'm like, why isn't everybody doing this? Because even if you represent a landlord, you can screen all of the clients through that portal. So that way you don't have to do all of this work. Everybody is doing the work for you, right? So they're filling out their information, they're paying for it right within that app. And you can put a link right within the MLS for the client to click on, so the agent can provide it to their client and they can click on it. I don't know if you guys have seen, but I have a email template in Quilt Group University under the documents section that has the I believe it's in the document section. It has a template for like military buyers or I'm sorry, military rentals, rental clients. So if you guys go in the templates, there should be one for that, because it's a little bit different, especially here in Los Angeles, because not a lot of people are used to military. So they're like, I don't know how to read an LES and I don't know how all of this works. And so basically there is, actually, let me just go to it, because of the fact that we have represented so many rental clients, like we haven't represented many recently, but because of that fact, I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to make a template for this because I'm tired of like typing the same email to everybody. I'm going to find it though. I don't know if it's in SOPs or what group documents.
I think it's in documents.
Yeah, I think so too. Email templates. Sorry, I'm just trying to find it. I have so many templates. If anybody else finds it first, let me know. But anyways, I'll go back and find it, I would say later, but I don't know that I will find it later. I'm not seeing it on there. If anybody sees it, let me know, but I'm not finding it. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing it at all. But basically what it was is that, you know, I'm providing like, hey, so-and-so is PCSing to this area or like moving to this area. Here is what their BAH is going to be. And I explain as basic allowance for housing because of military, and kind of go through and explain like what the LES means, like, you know, look at these sections for the LES, and kind of explaining like, you know, their BAH is at this amount and then it's going to jump up to this amount. And then I also, if you guys go to the, you know, pretty much think everybody on here is military, but I know we have some team members that are not. But basically, if you go to BAH calculator and you put in the zip code for where that person is going to be stationed, and if you know their rank, you can find out if, you know, with their dependents, without their dependents, what their BAH is going to be for the area. Send a screenshot of that to the agent as well, because not everybody knows they can go and do that. Because, you know, we have a lot of people that are like, hey, can you, you know, show me a, well, not only the orders, but a lot of people in the civilian world are used to like a job offer. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? If you do, shout it out because I can't think of it right now what that's called. But yeah, just basically like a job offer. But as you guys know, you don't have that for the military. It's just your orders. So just like explaining that to the agent. Then I explain like, hey, we have the rent-free application, which screens them with background check, yada yada. And then of course their 2 months, their 2 months proof of funds, and then their 2 months LES. So I just provide all of that in the email. If I find it, I'll let you guys know because for some reason I don't see it in the templates. But anyways, that's what I've always done for all of our clients.
I just saw it last night myself.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because I would go back and refresh my memory on, lessons learned and where I went wrong. So, or what I did wrong. And
Yeah,
if it was, maybe it's in SOPs.
Maybe, let me go back.
I see the lease SOP.
Oh, open that. What does that say? I created all these, but it's hard to remember all these things. How to submit an application.
No, this is the SOP for how to upload it in.
Oh, I do have the email in there. So if you guys go to how to create a lease application, the email template is in there. It is with pleasure that I submit a rental application for name.
Yes.
They're moving here from place and would like to secure a rental ASAP, name a military member, and what their BEH will increase to and all of that. So yeah, I have it in there already. And if there's anything else that you guys think could be added to that, feel free to add it or just let me know and I can add it to the template. Because we do run across a lot of agents that don't know how to read LESs and don't know what the heck a BAH is. So, we have to do a lot of educating and explaining what these mean. And you guys pretty much all know what that means. And if there's anybody that's on this call or watches this and has no clue how to do it, obviously you can ask us or anybody else and we'll all be able to explain to you what an LES is and a BAH and how all that works. But anyways, you guys have any other questions on anything else? It doesn't have to be related to leases. It just kind of went that direction. I know you guys are going to have some questions. Nick,
Well, did you say related to leases?
Not related to leases.
Yes.
I mean, they can be related to leases, but they don't have to be.
I guess my question is regarding a lot of financial related documents, such as a DU. Are we crossing lines when we send a DU over? Because I see that a lot of selling agents ask for a DU with an offer, and I just got off of this one webinar that says that a loan officer said that it's confidential information. So I'm
definitely not.
kind of,
No, it's not confidential information. We have provided DUs to every agent that's ever asked for it. So maybe it's to their comfort level, but honestly, I feel like that's something that is, it's not getting their client's offer accepted because, the agents are wanting to see the DU and they should be able to see it. I mean, I get it because it's like credit information and stuff like that. But
what's a DU?
A direct underwriting.
Yeah.
So basically it provides more in-depth financial information on the client, like where they're standing on their credit and if they have like any credit cards that are overdue, all of that sort of stuff. So I can see how they would think that it's, feel like it's, confidential, but, we've had our lenders that provides it no problem. So I think that's more of a feeling comfortable level. So,
Okay.
and I would say
So
like
do we?
listing agent side, I would feel like, well, what are you trying to hide if you're not going to be willing to release that DU? And I mean, on the lender side, they can always get their client's permission if they're feeling uncomfortable with it. And if you explain it the right way, like, hey, if you talk to your lender, just tell them to give, just tell them that you give them permission to release your DU because this is going to help get your offer accepted. So if you put in that way, what client's going to say, no, I don't want that. And if they do, they don't understand.
Right. Got it. Yeah, she this lender, she just really was very adamant, and she never actually released the DU to any of her clients. And so I was just trying to figure out if it was just normal practice.
She didn't release it to the client?
I'm sorry, not the client, the selling agent. She always released it to the client to give over to the selling agent.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I can see why they would do that. I mean, our lenders have never had a problem with that, but yeah, that's not a problem if they release it to the client and give it to you, all we're trying to do is get the information to be able to provide. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
You're welcome. But anybody else? No? Nobody? All righty. Well, at the very least, you guys know how to submit rental applications now. And you know how to upload them into SkySlope, or at least know where to go to upload them into SkySlope. So, I can't think of anything off the top of my head to go over. Hopefully, one of the next times David can teach the comps because it's important to know how to run comps. Not only for seller clients, but also for buyer clients to be able to know if your buyer client is submitting a good offer or not. So that's important. I know coming out of 2020 and 2021, comps were pretty much out the window and it didn't make much sense to run comps. But now it's back to being important. We're back to more of a normal market. Even though interest rates are coming down a little bit now, I feel like it's more like a normal market, that it was, prior to 2020. 2020 was just a crazy few years with 2020 and 2021, but it's kind of good to see it back to a normal market and, everybody not having to basically pull all of the hair out trying to submit like 200 offers on a house, so it was an exaggeration, but that's kind of what it felt like.
Well, Tasha, so I have a buyer next year wanting to move to the South Bay, right? I'm still talking with them, trying to get them more comfortable. There's an obstacle I'm trying to get past, which is he only wants to spend 2.5% of his monthly income for like total mortgage and everything. Kind of impossible around that area. Yeah. So how do you overcome that? Because I mean, 2.5% would net him about, or gross him about $2,500 a month for mortgage.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
It's more of like, is it more of like a mindset issue, you think?
I think so, because I've talked to him about his finances and stuff and his assets, and he can theoretically, I mean, if we're just keeping him on a tight budget, he can afford about 600 to 700, but the willingness of him having to split that between, mortgage and other bills is what's stopping him. He's from Philadelphia. Right now he owns a home worth about 300,000 over there. So he's
Mhm.
looking for a 3-bed as well. So that's his only
So
criteria.
what was his payment there?
That I can't recall that.
So find out what his payment is, payment was there. And then I think that would be a good point to explain to him, like, hey, if you were spending, let's say 1,500, I don't know what the Philadelphia market is. I have no idea if you can even afford a house with that. But like, we want to talk about 1,500, like say he's spending 1,500 a month, which sounds like it might be in that range. I don't know, but say it is. And he's only willing to spend 1,000 more in a market that is probably double to triple the cost of what he's looking at. And maybe if you explain it in that light, it might, make a light bulb go off, because you can't come to a market that's double to triple the cost and only spend $1,000 more. I don't know what it is, but say that that's what it is. That's $1,000 more. If it's $2,000 a month that he was spending, why is he only willing to spend $500 more in this kind of market?
Mhm.
So maybe finding out what that is, just explain it that way.
Okay.
Alan, do we know how much he's willing to put down? Because if he puts down a substantial amount and gets a mortgage note for 300 or 200, that's definitely doable. But that's like asking him to put 600K down, right?
Yeah, I spoke about, I gave him some resources, look up California loans and different things like that. He's not, so we didn't talk about numbers too much in that sense. I was just trying to get him more comfortable, but he can put quite a substantial amount down. I just don't know what he's comfortable with.
I think that might be one step the obstacle, just to kind of paint that picture. Like, how much of his assets does he want to tie up in order to be able to afford $2,500 a month, versus just going up a little bit more on monthly payments versus
Yeah, because if he has
tying up
that
all of his
money,
assets.
yeah, because if you have that money to put down, it doesn't make sense still to like, I don't want to put anything down, but then I want my monthly payment to be super low. Like there's
Right.
gotta be, a give somewhere.
Right. I think I spoke to him about, like, if your down payment's quite high, then you lower your mortgage. But we kind of just left it off at that this morning. And, I'm just trying to keep him comfortable, not push him too much, because he really wants to make the move over here for a job opportunity. So
Yeah,
hopefully that job opportunity can pay for the mortgage, so.
right. Did you kind of talk to him about how the appreciation is here and like the equity that he could potentially make should the market go the same way that it's going now? Because then sometimes people don't, think about what those numbers are going to look like in the future. And also finding like, are you going to stay here for, do you know how long he's going to be here for? Like, is it going to be forever? Is it going to be 5 years, 10 years?
I'm not sure yet. I'm assuming when he relocates, he's gonna stay here for quite a while at least. Because
Yeah, so that's even better than,
masters to get this job here.
okay. Yeah, because that's going to be even better because, saying he stays here for 5 to 10 years, the longer that you stay here, the better that it's going to be when you move, because, there's going to just be more money in his pocket in the end, because of the fact that like, even if you're appreciating at 3 to 5% a year, you're going to leave here with money in your pocket. So like the long-term, benefit is going to outweigh like the monthly payment every day, and like, talking to him about the principal reduction and, what that's going to look like, that might help. Do you have the buy versus rent calculator?
I know what you're talking about. We spoke
Okay.
about that on your Excel. I
Yeah.
also have one on NerdWallet as well.
Oh, okay. Then you can use that too. Just something to show him like, what it's going to look like for him, you know, projecting out. And you can basically put in what the appreciation in the area has been. So figuring out, like, has it been appreciating 10, 20, 30, 40, 50? Like, what have people been making if they've, you know, been in their home for a while? So like kind of showing those numbers, like, hey, if you stay here for 5 years and you're appreciating at 5% every year, like, this is how much you're expecting to put in your pocket. And, you know, if interest rates keep coming down, then, you know, or they go down in the future, then, you know, he can also refi. I think the biggest part is just trying to get him over that mental hurdle of that 2,500 per month. That's not really going to get him all that much.
Mhm.
And sometimes you can't get over the mindset issues. Sometimes people just have their minds made up and they just don't, you know, nothing that you say can change that. And, you know, the thing is, you can never convince somebody to buy a home. You could just present them the facts. And if they see it, then great. If not, you know, we always do our best to support our clients, of course, and we never make them feel bad if they don't decide to buy a home. But, you know, just presenting them like, hey, this is what it could do for you. And I would hate to see you miss out on this opportunity. You know, we would never tell you to buy a home if we didn't think that you're going to benefit from it in the end. So, but yeah, it's just going to take getting him over that mental hurdle that he has of 2,500 per month.
All right.
Especially if he can, if you know he can, you know, if it looks like he can afford it financially, of course. Like, we would never force somebody like, okay, spend 2,500 and then you're only, you know, you're only living on $500 per month, you know, residual.
Right. I'm at least I'm very comfortable with what he can afford, and also what he can sustain it with his new job. What I'm concerned with is, although he has good credit and all that, he hasn't been pre-qualified, pre-approved yet, and he only has 1 year of steady income because he's also going to school. So, you know, even if he wanted to buy, maybe he might not get an opportunity to, unless he goes through a lender and see what he can qualify for first.
Yeah, so right now, that's just a number that he's thinking he's gonna be able to get. And so he'll know more about what he's actually gonna be able to afford when he talks to a lender.
Mhm.
I would really encourage him to talk to a lender first.
Right, that's what I did, and I just kind of left it there. So,
Okay.
and he continues to reach back out. So down the
What
line,
is his personality like? Do you think he's the type of person that will respond well to numbers?
Yeah, I mean, if he brought up, because I was going to bring up the 2836 rule, like I thought that's what he was talking about, but he brought up the older rule, which 2.5%. I think he is into numbers. I think he's done a lot of math.
I mean, even as people that are not into numbers, when you talk about putting money in your pocket in the end, I think that's, you know, that's what people are, you know, going to listen to. Like, but yeah, so if he's into numbers, then definitely talk to him about what it could look like for him, you know, after he's here for, you know, 5 to 10 years or whatever it is. And yeah, I would find out what he was paying in Philadelphia. Now, if he was paying less than 1,000, I don't really know what to tell you there. But, you know, this is just a different market. So, you know, and you can kind of share with them like, okay, you know, I know you say you're comfortable with the 2,500, but this is where you would likely need to be based upon the area and what you're looking for. So,
Okay.
all right, anybody else? Nick, Charles, whoever else is on, those are the people that I can see. Ryan.
Well, no, just like Janetta said, like I feel like I have to be hands-on, but once I am, I'm sure I'll have questions.
Yeah, I'm the same
Same
way. I don't usually have questions up front, and then whenever I actually start doing things, I'm like, oh, okay, now I have questions.
Yeah. But it should be soon because like I'm meeting with some clients, but
Okay.
I haven't had hands-on with like the transaction side and stuff like that. So
Yeah. And you know, kind of like what I did with Ryan, if you guys ever needed me to jump on me or David to jump on the phone with you before you meet with somebody, we'd be happy to jump on the phone with you to kind of walk you through what to say and kind of troubleshooting and, you know, just giving you some easy scripts that you can go by whenever you do talk to your clients. So if you ever need something like that, you know, we would be happy to chat with you. So just let us know if you guys ever need that.
Yeah, that was extremely helpful. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad that it went well.
Yeah, I also filled out the buyer transcript, right? I gotta email
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah, that's fine. You can always do, if you did it via Google Docs, you can always share it that way too.
Yeah, I did it through Google Docs, so I'll do
Oh,
that.
okay. Yeah, and what he's talking about, guys, is the buyer intake form. So if you guys aren't aware, we do have a group buyer intake form. Just make a copy of it because we do have that template, but you can use that to talk to buyer clients and, you know, gather all of their info as you're talking to them. So it kind of gives you an idea of what you need to talk to them about, like beds, baths, you know, pre-approved amount, or what their budget want, you know, what they want their budget to be. You know, whether or not you need to connect them with a lender. Some people are already pre-approved, of course, so you can always ask them, you know, are they happy with their lender? Would you like for us to connect you with our preferred lender partners? And just have that conversation with them. But that helps you just have a standard set of questions. So that way, when you talk to your clients, you're not trying to think of all the things that you need to ask them. It's just right there in front of you. So when you do have those buyer calls, you definitely want to have that in front of you so that way you know you have that, because I know before when we were starting and we didn't have that, we would always be going off of our memory, which isn't always good to do. So, and we have the same thing for seller clients. We have a seller intake, and of course there's always the NAEA. That's the one that we use. So, and I think we had a separate one from NAEA before we did NAEA, but they also have a seller intake that's incredibly awesome. We hardly ever get the second portion because we focus so much on the first portion. The second portion is asking them more of like what their hobbies are, what they like to drink and all of that stuff. So that's fun, but usually we don't have time to ask them any of those questions because we're so focused on everything else. But just know that, you know, you guys have, you know, those things available to you. So if you ever need them, they're in Gwilt Group documents. They're inside of Gwilt Group University. So if you're ever meeting with a buyer or a seller, that's always going to be there for you. And actually, at another time in the future, I'm going to go over prepping for listing appointments. Though most of you are junior buyers agents, some of you are outside of our area. So kind of walking through the, you know, what a listing appointment would look like and everything to prepare for it. I do already have a previous one on what to prepare for listing appointments, but I want to do it again because that was so long ago now. So I'm going to walk you guys through everything, and pretty much what we would like for you guys to do is even as you're going through your junior buyer's agent training and stuff, also in conjunction, you know, going through the listing training stuff, because you never know when you could be on a listing with us. And so it's better for you guys to be prepared and know that, you know, especially knowing the fact that David and I are moving next year. And so, you know, there's going to be plenty of opportunities for you guys to be on those listings with us because we are heavily focusing on listings. So, you know, we want you guys to be able to be prepared and know what documents to prepare and know how to launch a listing and know everything that goes into a listing. So I think I'm going to have to do 2 parts of that because there's a lot to know when it comes to listings. And of course, as always, I'm always going to do trainings on working with buyers, the repair requests. I do think that I'm going to need to go over offer creation as well, and how to submit offers. Even though I do know I have past trainings on that, sometimes it's better just to go through it live. And so, but anyways, there's going to be even more to come for you guys. we're going out of town tomorrow, but we'll be back Sunday. And so the next week we're gonna have Tuesday, Wednesday of these kind of trainings. They're only supposed to be 30 minutes, but I decided to go a little bit longer today since I have a little bit of time. But next week we're gonna have 2 of these, 3:30, same time both days. If you guys do have different times that you think would work better than 3:30, you can always, give me that input and let me know. I want to be able to, accommodate, what works for the majority of people, just to ensure you guys are able to make it, because it's super important that you guys are on this call as you're learning and trying to figure out everything. We will at some point have, going over a buyer script and all of that, and, talking to buyers on your first initial one, just to kind of walk through that. And then maybe we'll do like a breakout session where you guys practice with each other via Zoom. I'll have to figure out how in the heck I do breakout sessions. I know other people have done it, but I have no idea how to do it. I'm sure I can figure it out. Most of you are younger than me, so you can always help me out with that. But yeah, there's a lot of topics that we can teach on and train on that I think is going to help you guys. So if there's anything that you can think of either now or in the future that you would like for us to do a training on, you can always, either submit a topic request or just request it on the channel. We'll take that into consideration as well. But yeah, other than that, that's all I have for you guys today. Did you guys have any other final thoughts or questions before we jump off?
Just got to make it through one more week, then I can really start focusing more of my time on work.
How's your Zillow leads going?
Say again?
How is your Zillow leads going?
They're not so great.
Oh no.
I mean, I have them, but they're really weird. I don't know. I have them. I guess I get what I pay
You're
for.
locked into a contract, right?
6-month contract, yes. Lesson learned. Another lesson learned.
Yeah. You guys all can get connected up to Ojo and Opsity.
That's my next thing, is to use Opsity.
Okay. Yeah, all you gotta do is let EXP know that you guys want to get connected to Opsity and Ojo. They're basically like the same. There's like I think they're both 30% or something referral fee. Yeah, 30 to 40%. But basically what it is, they'll send you leads and you'll basically want to accept whatever, like if they have a lead, it sends you a notification. So I think Ojo or Opsity changed theirs recently, but basically how it works is like you claim a lead. And basically what you want to do is claim all of the crappy leads, because once you start closing even the crappy leads, they'll start giving you even better and better and better leads.
And that's the problem with Zillow, is that they're giving me leads that they already, well, they already are represented by an agent. And I'm not, I guess I could, but they tell me, yeah, I have an agent already.
Ask them if they have a signed agreement.
Twice they've had a signed agreement. Twice. So I'm like, yeah, I'm getting leads, but I can't do anything with the lead.
That is incredibly frustrating.
It is incredibly.
You're paying for it, and then they're sending you leads that already have a signed agreement. That is just stupid. So, good for them, because they're just racking us money.
Right. And then I asked the agent, because this guy was transferring from up north and he wanted to move down here and he wanted me to show a house. And he's like, yeah, but I already am represented by an agent that lives up where I am. And I said, well, I'll be more than happy to help, and I can contact the agent to let them know, and I can get do the referral fee. But the agent wasn't okay with that, so whatever.
So how's
But
the
yeah.
agent from NorCal representing them in Southern California?
That's not
I'm
a,
sorry, say that again.
How's the agent from NorCal representing them in Southern California?
I have no idea.
okay.
I guess they're driving all the way down
Long
here.
drive.
But yeah, I should have reached out to you guys and I didn't think about it, and I just was eager to work, and I was like, well, I'll just put it on my credit card, and when the money starts
Well,
coming in, I'll pay it off.
Good for you though, like being like, all right, I'm ready to work. So this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
You
But I
had
didn't realize the Op City was so great, and Alexis has been telling me about it, so I just got to do the training to get started on it.
Yeah, there's literally no training. All you gotta do is just sign up for it and they'll start sending you leads. And when you guys sign up, let them know that you're a part of our team and what our production level is. That's gonna help you.
Well, actually, for Op City, there is a training
There is?
that you.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
It might be
new.
yeah,
I
it's,
haven't, yeah, it's been a while.
it's-
since I've been on.
I just got to do it, and I got one more week with my kids at home. It's not, once I get them gone and get them in school, it's like, then I can, like, I don't have to worry if daycare is going to be closed or daycare is not going to be open, or
Right.
I just got one more week. So that's what I'm waiting on. And then I can really focus on work.
Okay.
But Alexis is saying she has a lot of great
Oh, yeah.
traction with it.
Yeah, she's saying she's got to turn hers off for a while because she has so many leads.
Right.
Now, she probably shouldn't turn it off because why would you turn off?
I think she pauses it.
She did. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, like, why would you pause it? I know you don't have enough time, but for me, I'm just like, that's what our agents go into, is like, and that's what you do as an agent. You're like, oh shoot, I got all these leads, I don't have time to take care of them, so you shut them off. And then there's like periods where you're just like, okay, I don't have leads. Why I don't have leads? Well, it's because you were too busy to work on the leads that you currently have. And I know this by experience. So
It's because for Op City, if you leave it on and you don't claim it on time, you kind of get hit
yeah,
for
you
it.
get
And then,
penalized.
yeah.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying,
Maybe
like,
just a minute.
don't turn off leads.
Yeah.
But don't shut them off.
Well, she's paused them.
Yeah.
So, she's like, no, it's not. Take leads. Anyways, David's distracted me by a sold post. I was like, wait, who is that? It kind of looked like one of our past clients' homes. So I was just like, did they sell their house without us?
No.
What's up, Dan?
Hi.
Oh, I thought you had something to say. Oh, okay. But anyways, guys, yeah, get on Ojo and Opcity, because you literally, there's no monthly fee or anything for those unless they have changed, but there's just a referral fee once you close a client.
What's the other one called? Not Op City. What's the other one?
Ojo, OJO, just like Opcity. That's the one that I'm on. I don't think I've been a part of Opcity for a while. I don't know why. Forgot about that one. But yeah. Anyways, anything else, guys?
And to confirm, there's no meeting this week, right?
Yeah, no meeting this week. We'll be in Monterey
Have fun.
doing all the car stuff. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. If there's anything you guys need, as always, you know how to reach us, and we'll still be available even though we'll be you know, in Monterey. So if there's anything you guys need, just send us a Slack message.
Do you guys have a few minutes so we can go over this stuff with Camp Pendleton?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I do. I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, thank you guys.
Thanks,
One
Tasha.
one question,
Oh
Tasha.
yeah,
See
go
ya.
ahead, Ryan.
Do you have any info on the lender that I can give to her? Or,
We haven't heard back from the lender yet. What did she say her timeline was?
Within 3 months. So she wants to do it as
Oh,
soon
okay.
as possible, but
Right.
November for the absolute latest.
Okay, all right. All right, yeah, we haven't heard back from them yet, but as soon as we do, we'll let you know. If we don't hear back by tomorrow, just send me a message and we'll get you the other lender's info.
Okay, awesome.
Thanks, Tasha.
Thank
Thank
you.
You're welcome, Nick.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Bye, guys.
Guys.
Hey, Tasha, I have one last question actually.
Sure, go ahead.
So for the OJO app, is it like a similar process to sign up for it, just like OpCity? Do you have to email the broker?
You may have to email the broker too.
Okay.
Do you know how to email the broker?
Yeah, I already signed up for OpCity. So.
Oh, okay. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
How's OpCity working for you?
It's pretty good. At first it was just like people trying to buy land and their budget was like around 50,000, but I actually got a referral, and then they're pretty